All right, guys, another edition of a freestyle film room session. Today I picked a few plays from Nathan Peterman in the first preseason game. One thing I did like about the offense overall was that Brian Daboll, the offense coordinator, did a great job of maximizing what these guys do well. Came to AJ McCarron and Josh Allen. He utilized a lot of play action with Nathan Peterman. He maximized most of his skills with getting the ball out quickly, which is something that he's good at. He doesn't have the arm strength of Josh Allen, so he's not going to be throwing it deep as much. So I thought Daboll did a good job of just getting the ball out of his hands where he's not thinking, where he's not reading into the second and third progression. He was very decisive, and I think that really plays to his strengths. Obviously, I want to see a little more from him because I still think that his mindset and his mentality is still a little shaky. I think he's still shaken up still from last year. Do I think he has the will to push through that? I do. But I just want to see more than just quick passes, and I think they'll start to build that in. First preseason game's pretty vanilla, pretty scripted, and there's really not too much complexity to the offense overall. So I think that Brian Daboll did a great job of just giving the quarterbacks confidence, not really making them do things that they're totally uncomfortable with early on in the preseason. Now, I mentioned he got the ball out of his hands very quickly. From snap to throw, he averaged about 2.36 seconds. And so in a few of these plays, you're going to see the timer on it. Obviously, that's not an exact science, but that's just to give you an idea how quickly he got the ball out and how decisive he was in that game. Now, of his 10 dropbacks, Peterman got the ball out in under 2.5 seconds on 7 out of 10. So the average is right around 2.5, 2.6 across the league. So he got the ball very quickly. He was only blitzed on 3 of the 10 dropbacks. He had a solid game. I don't think it was anything special. I think he's right where he should be at this point in his career. So with that said, let's jump into the film room and take a look at some of these plays. All right, so here's the first play, and it's going to be a pass to Kelvin Benjamin at the bottom of the screen. But I want you to keep an eye on Peterman's eyes, what he's looking at as this motion comes across the field, and how he's reading this coverage. Obviously, there's 4 down linemen. You have about 7 in the box right here between these 3 players at the second level as they motion across. But that safety, because of the 3-man passing formation going to this side now, this becomes a passing strength. So this safety is going to drop deep, and you're going to have the safety come down really late to kind of fill this hook to curl area. So if you watch Peterman from the get-go, he's watching that safety rotation, and you see him take a peek right over here. You see him looking right at Shaq Thompson. Why? Because as this safety rotates deep and this guy rock and rolls down into this hole, this guy is going to bump out. This linebacker is going to bump out, and he's probably going to play heads up or just outside leverage on the number 2 receiver here, just so that they spread the field evenly. But what this signals more than anything is a single high set with him rotating back, and more than likely cover 3 with how these defenders are all looking at the quarterback. So to him, if he wants to get the ball right here on the hitch to Kelvin Benjamin, this is his read, because obviously these guys, if this is cover 3, they're dropping deep. They have deep thirds, and that safety is going to have a deep middle there. So the flats defender is Shaq Thompson here. Well, you'll see the release by Holmes. He kind of winds the stem here, but Thompson has to kind of honor that, get outside leverage on him, but he's got to scream to the flats. And you see Nathan Peterman, good job of keeping his eyes on that defender. It's a quick drop from Peterman, hits the top of it, and he's anticipating this throw, and he has to be on point with his anticipation. Let's start there, because if you look at where the ball is spotted, it's on the left hash. He's making this throw outside the numbers to the far side of the field, something that he is not really efficient at doing. So this is a really smart play, and he's got to know this coverage because he has to throw it well before Kelvin Benjamin breaks. So you see the top of the drop, you see him release it in just under 2 seconds, so 1.92 seconds. He gets rid of it. I want you to pay attention to the placement of this, because it obviously is also very important. It's a very high throw, but it's done on purpose. Why? Because you have a big target in Benjamin, and this far of a throw from a guy that doesn't have quite the arm strength that you want making this kind of throw, it's got to be thrown early, and it's got to be placed properly, because if this ball is probably thrown at chest level to Kelvin Benjamin, Shaq Thompson could probably make a play on this. Look, the ball's not there yet. He's closing in. He could probably rake that out if the ball is chest level to Kelvin Benjamin. So the high placement's good here on that slightly in-breaking curl route from Benjamin. Smart read of Thompson. And, of course, Benjamin goes up and gets it, and his big body absorbs the blow from the linebacker. And here it is again from another camera angle. Again, top of the drop. Look at the release point, nice and high. Elevates that ball. tight spiral, far throw outside the numbers, and just good placement so that Benjamin can go up and get it. And Thompson can only really worry about making the tackle on Kelvin Benjamin. All right, so I mentioned that they only blitzed Peterman 3 times. So, well, this is one of those plays. They're right inside the 50-yard line. They're in plus territory. It's 3rd and 5, and they got about 8 seconds on the clock, and they're going to motion Curley in and out just to get an idea on what kind of coverage it is. And it's pretty obvious that it's man coverage. You see that DB trail with him. You see this linebacker eyeing the running back down, and they send a 5-man pressure and a green dog blitz, which means because this running back staying in to block, this linebacker gets the option to blitz. So they're bringing pressure. They're bringing 6 here. And there's immediate pressure off the edge from, I believe that's Thomas Davis versus Jordan Mills. So Davis got a really good jump on the ball here. And, I mean, he's upfield quickly. And Mills does a good job of just engaging and then riding him wide. And you see Peterman's eyes are really good. He keeps his eyes upfield. And he's looking for the best one-on-one matchup in this man coverage. And he thinks his best bet is to Benjamin down here. But as he's about to set to possibly throw to Benjamin, he gets pressure right in his face. So doesn't really have a good throwing lane, a throwing window to get it to Benjamin, as Benjamin looks like he's about to turn there. Again, this is not from the All-22, so it's really difficult to really tell how tight a coverage it is or what route was open immediately. If Peterman had a little more time, you're going to see Clay come open here on a little follow concept. He kind of chips, then releases on a follow concept behind Curley right there. Again, could be tight coverage, but either way, there's pressure. Peterman escapes the pocket, and he escapes the pocket in just about 3.2 seconds. So versus this man coverage, no one appears open, so he escapes the tackle box. And again, his placement on this throw to Benjamin is just really nice. You see it along the sideline, and he hits Benjamin where only he's going to catch it. But you see him as he's scrambling to the right. He's still looking to make a play. You know, he's running out of real estate, but he's processing other routes in this extension of the play. No one open. He just does a good job of finding Benjamin along the sideline. And this is great because he knows his target. He knows who his receiver is here. It's not a small little guy like Curley or Ray McLeod. He knows that Benjamin hit one of his pluses is being able to use his size and his length. And he does a good job of working the sideline here, but also just, you know, catching it and having knowledge of the boundary. I mean, that's just really, really nice catch and really a nice play by Peterman altogether of extending the play and extending the drive because this was 3rd down and 5. So a really nice play by Nathan Peterman. All right, so now we move on to the touchdown to Kelvin Benjamin. And this one's pretty simple. It's another 3rd down situation, 3rd and 4. And they're just inside the 30-yard line at about the 28-yard line. They motion out Tavares Cadet, and the linebacker, Kuechly, runs with him. So it's pretty obvious it's man coverage. Now, this is preseason, so there's probably only a certain amount of man coverage beaters called. They don't want to show too much. They want to get too fancy and give away too much of their playbook. So there's some pretty basic route combinations called here. What Peterman's got to do is find his best matchup, whatever one favors the offense. There's probably 2 here, in my opinion. One being the obvious one with the size and Benjamin, you know, going against his former team and wanting to put up some big numbers, you know, show them up a little bit. The other one I think is Charles Clay. He's always a mismatch in these type of situations. Put him on a safety, put him on a linebacker. It's a win-win. And it looks like they are manned up across the board. Again, they motion that running back out there. It looks like man across the board and at least 5 guys on the line of scrimmage who appear to be blitzing. And they do send 5. And you'll see Clay to the middle of the field here. He does come open. But again, this was predetermined. And it's not a bad choice given Kelvin Benjamin, his size and his length, and the rhythm that he and Peterman have together. The other thing I want you to pay attention to, watch the quick set by the quarterback, but also watch the quick set and jump sets by these offensive tackles because this is important. This is something they did a lot of and something you're going to see a lot of this season. You see them go for the cut, get those guys worried about the cut, worried about these offensive linemen diving at their legs. Why? Because then they have to use their hands to protect themselves. And guess what? That means they can't get their hands up and block any type of quick pass that could go over the middle or even outside here. So that's really nice scheming by Brian Daboll. So another, plus for him. But this is just really nice timing, placement on the throw here. And what happens is, as Benjamin releases outside, he chops down the hand of the DB, and the DB just trips up, and Benjamin's wide open. But kudos to Peterman with the single high safety deep. Obviously, he knows he just got to hold him quickly. So right there, he takes a snap, finds him, sets, and then boom, top of the drop, ball's out. Nice placement where only Benjamin's going to catch it. Stays in bounce for the touchdown. So overall, Nathan Peterman had a really good game. I thought that they game planned really well for him, and hopefully we can see a little more of his arsenal and some more of his skill set in the coming weeks as the preseason progresses.